Hey everyone, my name is Heba and welcome back. I am in this book club and this month it is my turn to do a review of a book, and I thought I might do a get ready with me and practice doing the review of this book with you guys. I am so nervous. So this book club is just something for us ladies to meet every month, to eat and drink wine. Of course, that's probably the main thing of it. And then one of us will go up and discuss about the book that she read. And this is my month, January. And I didn't know about it until I got the text while we were in Egypt. And it's like, oh my gosh, what book am I going to read? Because I don't like to read. I just like to read little snippets. I don't like to read, I don't know. This just reminds me of high school book reviews, index cards. Remember that? So I found a book that I've read before. It's an autobiography. And so I kind of reread it the last 3 or 4 days and took notes and post-it notes and whatnot. And the book is called The Gift of Life. Here's what the cover looks like. And of course, here are my little post-it notes. And then here are my typed out notes. I also written them out first. Gosh, I'm so nervous. So The Gift of Life is an autobiography about this man called Henri Landwirth. And he wrote it with J.P. Hendricks. And it was published in 1996. And here's the inside cover so you can see. Because I don't know if I'm supposed to list everything, you know, the bibliography or whatnot. But I'll link the book down below if you want to check it out. So I have about 4 or 5 hours to get ready and to kind of practice, and hopefully all goes well. So again, the book is called Gift of Life by this man, Henri Landwirth. And to give a little bit of a summary, I'm sure you've all heard about the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Very well-known worldwide organization. Now, have you heard of Give Kids the World Village? Give Kids the World Village, it's in Orlando, technically in Kissimmee, Florida. It's a village where families from these wish organizations, when these kids wish to go to Disney World, to see Harry Potter at Universal, maybe SeaWorld, Give Kids the World is where these families will stay. I'm going to look at my notes here because I don't want to mess it up. It's a place where critical ill children and their families come to a no cost for them for a week-long vacation for kids who wish to go to Disney, and also Universal and SeaWorld. They have accommodation, they have the tickets to the parks, they have meals, transportation, and just fun activities at Give Kids the World Village. Now, I do volunteer for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we also volunteer at Give Kids the World. And when you do that, you go on your own dime, you do your hotel reservations, your own transportation, and then you just sign up and volunteer for certain shifts at Give Kids the World Village. And let me tell you, it is so fun. The last time we volunteered there was in 2019. My husband and I went and he loved it. That was the first time for him to do it. Before, I've gone with some other people from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and also I've taken our kids there when they were in high school and college just to let them see and know what's out there. And my husband and I are going back in April. Already signed up for our shifts. Just need to buy the airline tickets and fix the hotel reservations and all that good stuff. But we're so excited to do that. But let's get back to this book, Gift of Life. And let me go ahead and start putting on my makeup because I do need to do that. And I'll list everything down below for you guys. So again, this book is called Gift of Life, written by Henri Landwirth with J.P. Hendricks. And I'm going to be looking down on my notes here in between applying makeup. But Henri was born in Belgium in 1927. He had a happy home life. His parents, his dad was a diamond cutter and his mom was, I guess, a stay-at-home mom. And he had a twin sister, Margot. It's Margot. M-A-R-G-O-T. See, I'm already getting nervous. When he was 13 years old, World War II started, and he and his family was sent to concentration camps. He was separated from his family, from his mom, from his dad, from his twin sister, and he did find out that his dad was shot and killed in the beginning of the war, and he found out his mom was killed towards the last weeks of the war. Sad, I know. I'm using this shade from Isom. He spent 5 years in the concentration camps, going from one camp to another, including Auschwitz, and I believe it's pronounced Mauthausen. So you can probably tell that those are, you know, one of the worst concentration camps. I know it's kind of hard to apply makeup talking about this, but let me quickly read a little excerpt from this book. Now, this was towards the end of the war. He and his friend decided to escape. Let's run, let's run. Unfortunately, a nearby Nazi heard me, and he walked over to me, and holding the barrel of his rifle like a sledgehammer, swing the rifle in full circle, smashing my skull. I saw the soldier swing the rifle, and I knew he was going to hurt me, maybe kill me. But for some reason, I didn't move. I stood there, and he smashed my head with the butt of his rifle. I fell to the ground covered with blood. The soldier turned his attention back to the others. Just before I lost consciousness, I managed to crawl a few inches and burrow into a small pile of straw. When I came to, it was dark and I was alone. The Germans must have thought I was dead and left me there. The soldier who hit me may have ended up saving my life. I learned later that most of the other prisoners I was with were executed and buried in a mass grave the way my father was. So then after that, he ran, and he couldn't run anymore, and he collapsed. This couple found him and nursed him back to health. And by that time, the war was over. So he's trying to find his sister, went from town to town, and by the grace of God, he found his twin sister. And they promised never to leave each other again. All right, now I'm going to go into this shade. So after the war, he did odd jobs. He did the same thing like his dad. He was a diamond cutter. He found a job doing that. He also did a little bit of a side hustle, smuggling sugar across the border to make some extra money. But he wasn't happy there. So he wanted to go to America. So he found a boat that he could work on in exchange for passage to New York. And after several weeks at sea, he saw the Statue of Liberty. Then in January of 1950, he was drafted into the U.S. Army. And because of his diamond cutting skills, they kept him stateside so he can cut crystals for, I guess, the artillery and all that stuff for the military. Right, now I'm going to go into this color. So after 2 years of doing that, he was honorably discharged, and then he was trying to find a job. And his new career started on November 11th, 1952, working for the Wellington Hotel in New York City, being the night desk clerk. Because he was in the Army, he did use the GI Bill to help pay for his college education, and he studied hotel management. So I'm going to go into this Esom palette, the metallic one, and use this shade, use my finger, and just place that on my lid. 2 years later, he did get married to his first wife, and it's Jo, and together they have 3 children. And his wife, Jo, is Italian, and I believe her family was from Florida, so they moved to Florida, Miami, Florida. Then he got a job at the President Madison Hotel, and he did everything. If no one was at the cashier, he would be the cashier. If the housekeeping was on vacation, he would do the housekeeping. He did everything. He kept his eyes and ears open. Now let me go back to the book and read a little excerpt here. There are all kind of crazy things happening at the President Madison Hotel. I kept my eyes and ears open and learned a lot of things, both what to do and what not to do. I worked out an arrangement with taxi drivers. When one would recommend the President Madison to a fare, he would give the driver a little money called turkey money because it kept food on everyone's table. One night, a regular turkey money cab driver dropped a man and a woman at the hotel. The man looked familiar. I asked the cabbie who the fare was, but the driver didn't know. The man came up to the register. I asked him to sign in and pay in advance. The customer shook his head. He had no intention of paying in advance. I told him at the President Madison Hotel that is how everyone paid. He turned around and left. The couple got to the taxi and drove away. The next day, the Miami Herald ran a front page story about Rock Hudson, who had just married his secretary. The man in the picture was the same guy who never paid in advance. When the hotel manager heard this, he came out of the office and called me every name in the book. I was stupid, he said. I was finished. History. Fired. He sent me to his office and told me to wait for him. When my boss returned, I began to plead my case. He held up his hand and explained it was all part of the game. I wasn't fired, he said. Just get back to work. Good cop, bad cop. I never forgot that. He and his co-worker opened up a restaurant, but it didn't work out. Of course, he already left the President Madison Hotel, and after the restaurant didn't work out, he tried to look for another job and found it doing bellhopping at the Fontainebleau Hotel. So after about a month, his old boss at the President Madison Hotel called to get him back and to be the assistant manager. And he started to see how things were done in the hotel business from the ground up. Let me just go back into this shade and deepen up the outer corner. Things were doing good, and then a man called B.G. McNabb, he came and asked his boss, Mr. Raffle, the one at the President Madison Hotel, if he could build a motel in Cocoa Beach. Now this man, he was the general manager of the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Division for General Dynamics. He was put in charge of making the space program come to life in Cape Canaveral. And Cocoa Beach didn't have any of the housing to house the astronauts, so he asked Mr. Raffle to build a motel there. He would guarantee that they would lease a minimum of 30 rooms, 365 days a year. It was to house the Mercury 7 astronauts, the engineers, the contractors, and he wanted to call it the Starlight Motel. And Henry became manager of that motel. And it was a huge success. He became friends with the astronauts. He became friends with the press. Seems like they had a lot of fun at the Starlight Motel. They would do practical jokes with each other. For one instance, they put a boat in the pool, and I believe one of the astronauts was sitting by the pool pool with a fishing pole. And Henry was asking him, what are you doing? He goes, fishing. And he says, well, that's a swimming pool. So the astronaut got a bucket and dumped some fish in the pool. And then another incident with John Glenn. Of course, you know the famous astronaut John Glenn. He runs to the front desk and complains that there's no more towels. There's no towels in my hotel room. But they all knew that it was a joke. So the next time when John Glenn was there, his room was filled with towels. Towels on his bed, towels on the floor to the ceiling, towels in the bathroom. So it's those kind of, practical jokes. Okay, let me go back to my book here and get a quote. I know I'm not getting my makeup done, am I? I became the unofficial host of Cocoa Beach. If someone needed something done, no matter how impossible it seemed, I would get a phone call. I never tried to say no. If someone said they want a polar bear, I'd try and find a way to get one. It goes back to my basic belief that to have happy customers, you must give them what they think they want, not what I think they want. I developed a network and stretched out all over the place, and rarely was a request unfulfilled. So he pretty much was Cocoa Beach, especially during the 50s and 60s, during the Mercury 7 times. And I bet that was such a fun time to be in. 2 years later, Mr. Raffle, the guy who owned President Madison Hotel and the one who built the Starlight Motel, he sold it. He sold the Starlight Motel, and from then it just went downhill. Henry and his wife Jo, they went to Titusville, Florida and leased a 14-room motel called the Space Motel. Now it did good for a little bit, but it seems like someone across the street, like a competition, kind of called in and said that he was doing something bad at his hotel. So they closed him down. Then he went back to Cocoa Beach and Holiday Inn. They asked Henry to oversee the building of the new Holiday Inn in Cocoa Beach. He learned a lot about what goes into hotel constructions. And it seems kind of funny that when the Holiday Inn opened, the Starlight Motel burned down. Of course, he was asked about it, but he was nowhere near that. And they did an investigation, and it was because of faulty wiring. It just so happened that it just burned down the same day as the Holiday Inn opened up. Not saying anything. So in 1962, a new motel, the Cape Colony Inn, was being built, and the owner of that, Walter Rose, offered Henry 10% stake in that hotel. And he also got some of the astronauts in it as well. And after that, he moved to Lakeland, Florida, and worked in another Holiday Inn and started to get involved with special needs children. Let me go and prime my face with the new primer from Chanel, the Healthy Winter Glow Primer in the shade Icy Beige. So yeah, that's when he started to get more involved with special needs children. And I'm also going to use the Chanel matte primer as well. So in 1969, Henry left Lakeland, Florida to Orlando, because that's when Walt Disney himself, was building Walt Disney World. So Henry and John Glenn and John Quinn, they formed a three-way partnership and built Altamonte Holiday Inn and Disney East Holiday Inn. And of course, business was good because of Walt Disney World. So in 1980, he started the Henri Landwirth Foundation in memory of his mother. And he started this foundation to help as many needy people as possible. It was so popular that the endowment was worth over several $1 million. Now I need to read another quote. That's what my note says. My hotel businesses and other investments were profiting. I had attained a level of comfort light years away from where I had begun. Yet something was still missing. Need to finish the concealer. Of course, I'll list everything down below. So there was something missing in his life. He really wanted to help children because he has seen families being ripped apart, children by themselves, children had to feed themselves, children dying, but he felt the need to help with these kids. And this is where Give Kids a World started in 1986. So in 1986, there was this girl named Amy. Her wish was to go see Mickey Mouse at Disney World. So they were trying to do accommodations, airlines, all this stuff, but the red tape kind of got involved. And because of the red tape, it did take some time. And unfortunately, this little girl, Amy, 6 years old, she passed away. So Henry was beside himself. He was wondering why a country as rich as America could let this little girl die, and all she wanted to do was to see Mickey Mouse. So with her death, Give Kids a World came to life. So for foundation, I'll be using this one from Laura Mercier. Really do like this foundation. I do need 2 pumps of it, and this is in the shade 4N2 tea, like hot tea or iced tea. And I think this is such a perfect match for me. So I don't want to be too crazy with the makeup because I want to concentrate on the book. I don't want them concentrating on my face, on my makeup. So Henri brought together corporations, foundations, and even individuals to help with Give Kids a World, to start it from the ground up. So let's go in with this shade for underneath my eyes. So I think that's all I'm going to do with the shadows. Now let me go ahead and do my eyes off camera, my brows, eyeliner, and mascara, and I'll come back and we'll talk about Give Kids a World. So where was I? Yes, we were starting to talk about Give Kids the World. So he went to his friends because he did a lot of networking when he was working in those hotels. He was able to get Disney on board to donate tickets, SeaWorld too. He got some of the hotels to donate some of the rooms. And in the first year, in 1986, 380 families had their wish granted. Let me go ahead and bronze my face a little bit. So that was the first year. The second year, it pretty much doubled to 700 families. And then the next year, 1,200. So the demand was high. And of course, the hotel rooms, they were full from Disney World, so they were limited to what the hotels had left over. So then Henri thought about it and he bought a 35-acre property in Kissimmee, Florida. And then that's when the magic started. He called up his friends, John Glenn, Walter Cronkite, to help out. Word got out about what he wanted to do and people just started coming. Contractors started coming on the weekends to help build the villas. Electricians also started to come out on the weekends to help wire the villas, even those that were in the union, because it was a non-union, I guess, construction operation. They even volunteered their services to help with the villas. And the first villas that were built, they are duplexes, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, full kitchen, washer and dryer. So the families don't have to worry about anything while they're there. Corporations came out, airline employees came out to help, landscapers came out. It was a massive undertaking and it was all done by volunteers. Of course, there were some corporations that donated money, but pretty much everything was all done by volunteers. So we had painters, electricians, drywall, even the furniture stores came and they furnished the villas. Using this blush by Hermes, number 49 Rose Tan. I think that will look good with this eye look. And he even got Perkins. I believe that restaurant's not available now. I don't know what happened to Perkins restaurant, but they donated breakfast and dinner for the families while they were staying at Give Kids the World. So they also built like this gingerbread house. That's the restaurant where the families could go eat. Idea is that they would be at the park, so they didn't do like a big lunch, just kind of like sandwiches and stuff like that, but mainly breakfast and dinner. It was finished in the winter of 1989, and the first family that was there was from Russia. Give Kids the World grant wishes to everyone around the world. And if there's someone from Russia, from Egypt, from China, from Italy, from Peru, they would fly the flags of the countries of the families that were there on property. So I thought that's a nice touch. And of course, the second it opened up, it needed to be expanded. So they added more villas. They added a carousel where kids could ride this carousel. And it's one of the old-timey types. They also have a train that goes around the property. They have a big swimming pool that can house kids in wheelchairs. There's a wheelchair lift there. And of course, all the villas are wheelchair accessible. They have a big playground that's also wheelchair accessible. They have a full-size, I guess it's called full-size, Candyland game in the park. That's kind of fun. They have a game room. They have a movie theater where they play new releases. Pretty much it's like a theme park. They have Christmas on Thursdays, Halloween on Wednesdays, I believe. They serve a Thanksgiving dinner in one of the meals. They have an Easter egg hunt. There's a mayor of Give Kids the World, Mayor Clayton, and his wife. He's a bunny rabbit, and the mayor could even tuck you in at night. That's a nice touch. Even characters from the theme parks come and visit with them. Let's see, there's also pony rides once a week. I mean, that place is remarkable. So today, Give Kids the World is an 89-acre park. Remember, it was 35 acres in the beginning with 166 villa accommodations. It welcomed over 188,000 families there. And whenever we tell the Wish families when they go there to always pack another suitcase, because the gifts that the families get is just unbelievable. It provides families with a 2-room villa with a kitchen and washer and dryer. That alone is nice. Breakfast and dinner, carousel and train rides, game room, mini theater, putt-putt, a beauty salon, a castle of dreams, and the main attraction is the ice cream parlor. Back then, it was kind of a building with banana splits on top, but they redid it to make it look a replica of the Starlight Motel, and it's called Starlight Scoops. It's open from 7 in the morning to 11 at night, and yes, you can have ice cream for breakfast there at Give Kids the World. That is just so fun, and I have worked the ice cream scoop bar before, but I tried for my husband and I in April, but it's already booked. It's already booked, because that's one of the main thing that goes like that, the main volunteer place that goes. Because who doesn't want to serve ice cream for breakfast for these kids? It's just so fun. It's just so fun. And there's not that many employees there. It's all run by volunteers. I believe every day they need 50 or 60 volunteers a day to serve food, to work the carousel, the train, the game room, the putt-putt, the ice cream. Would love to do that. They have a beauty room, which I don't think I would do well, you know, face painting and stuff like that. Also the game room, I wouldn't know difference between a PS2 controller to a Nintendo controller. So I'll save that with the kids. So Henri did pass away in April of 2018 at the age of 91. So pretty much Henri was a Holocaust survivor to become the founder of Give Kids the World in Kissimmee, Florida. And I would say that he had a remarkable life. Yes, the Holocaust is just unimaginable, but he always thought that if that didn't happen, where would he be today or at that time? All right, got one more quote here to tell you. These connections of faith seem to happen all the time. Small wonders. Since Give Kids the World began, I've witnessed dozens of things I would call miracles. And as I look back at my life, I can see a steady stream of events, from the survival of my sister and me to the Mercury years to Give Kids the World. Miracles happen. They are real and they are tangible. There's no question about it. We just have to be willing to see them. So that is the book of The Gift of Life of Henri Landwirth. And you can kind of see the cover of it. This is the carousel and this is the Castle of Dreams. And I hope I'm able to put pictures of some of the things of Give Kids the World as I was talking. And I hope I did a good job. I may have to add or delete some things, I don't know. But I hope that you enjoyed it. So in about a couple of hours, I will do my hair and I'll come back and show you the finished look with the lipstick. Because I kind of want my hair to be nice and fresh before I go. So let me go back, kind of redo my notes and make sure everything's in order here. And then I'll be back with my hair done, lipstick, and hopefully some clothes, better clothes. Have about an hour left before I need to get ready to get over there, and I'll list everything down below for you guys, including the lipstick. And let me just go ahead and show you. I lined my lips with the Sisley Paris in the shade Chocolate. As you can tell, I'm nervous. I'm trying to think what to say. And this lipstick from Loon and Aster in the shade Long Walk. First time for me to wear it, and it's very comfortable on, and it's a pretty color. And for gloss, the Lip Maximizer from Dior in the shade, I think it's 45, 44, 45. So I'm going for a bronzy lip look. I hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me of talking about this book, Gift of Life, about Henri Landwirth, being a Holocaust survivor, seeing all the awful things that he saw, just unspeakable things, to becoming a philanthropist for kids with disabilities, to have their wish come true at Give Kids the World. Incredible. I hope you guys check out their website just to see what it's like, what it's all about. And maybe one day you might want to volunteer there. Like I said, my husband and I, we're going to go in the end of April. Already signed up our shifts. We'll be serving food. We're going to be gift givers, and that's going to be the first time we're trying that. So I think that's going to be fun. I mean, who doesn't love to give gifts? Like to receive gifts, but it's more fun to give than it is to receive. Let's see, we're gonna operate the carousel, and I think we're gonna operate the train. I can't remember, but I'm hoping I'm gonna keep checking to see if the Starlight Scoops, if any openings open up for us. I doubt it because that's the first to go. And I say serving food, maybe bussing tables, and even if you bus the tables, you talk with the family, see what they're gonna do today, see what they did today, and just seeing the looks on the kids' faces, and not just the kids' faces, to see the looks on the parents' faces, to see that relief of seeing their child happy. And it's stress-free, worry-free. It's a remarkable thing. It's a remarkable thing. I hope not a lot of women show up. It's a cold, drizzly, dreary day, so I hope they stay home. The less for me to talk to, the better, I guess you could say. But if they do show up, I think and I hope that I'll give them a good review with this book, Gift of Life. And I hope that y'all enjoyed it as well, too. And don't ask me to do another book because, again, I don't like to read. I don't like to read. I mean, I've already started reading a couple books and I didn't finish it. I think one was a prequel to the Hunger Games and one was another book. I can't remember. It's in a basket somewhere, ready for me to pick it up whenever I feel like it. But yeah, please don't ask me to do another one of these. And maybe if there's another book that comes around that's similar to this, that does, you know, lift the hearts, lift the spirits, but maybe I might do one down the road. I mean, down a long road. Well, alright, you guys, I sure do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and also wish me good luck. I do well. It's gonna be nerve-wracking. But honestly, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.